Hello, my name is Katherine Vistakis, and I am an English Open Stores Program volunteer. I studied a combination of psychology and neuroscience. I was working on an ambulance, transferring patients to and fro, and working on getting into medical school. I was placed in the Atacama region in the north of Chile, and I was there for almost 4 months. There were 2 or 3 main factors. One being that it's a government program. There are a lot of programs out there that are private, and I kind of worry about their legitimacy. Like, is someone just going to take my money and I'm going to show up at the airport and they give me the address of a warehouse? With a government program like English Open Doors program, they've been around for, 12 years? And it being a facet of the government of Chile, I know that there's some kind of transparency and legitimacy. And the other, with that comes research. Like, I think that they're going to send me to schools that need me, and they're going to know what to train me in so that I can actually be an effective person. And the third thing is I didn't have to pay any money to do this. A lot of the other ones, you have required TOEFL training or like $1,000 application fee, and then they'll like reimburse you $600. You're like, that math does not add up. So I didn't have to pay any money for this. So I think a culmination of those 3 factors definitely led me here. I didn't have any expectations coming into it, and I think that served me very well, because all of the good things that happened left me very pleasantly surprised, and all of the things that didn't quite live up to one's fairy tale imagination of how things are going to go are kind of just things that roll with the punches. But all in all, living in South America has always been a dream of mine, and now I can speak in full sentences in Spanish, which is excellent. And I have met people who I love and love me a world away. So that's, for not having expected anything, I think that's the best. The NVC team has been great because what you really are getting is support. When we go on these South American adventures, usually we think about going out alone and kind of cowboying up, but we're also here to work, and it's hard work, and having a support team is indispensable. If I were here alone, I wouldn't have a bank account, an ID card, health insurance, a 24-hour hotline, people to help me if I really need to. I have a regional representative there, and believe me, when things get tough, it's amazing to have someone by your side, also native English speakers who can help you and understand in your fluent language. That was indispensable. It would have been far more difficult without that training, especially since I don't have any teacher training. Yeah, I did one-on-one teaching, but that doesn't prepare you for a whole classroom. And so they really do their best to give you the tools necessary to be as successful as humanly possible, especially when it comes to behavior modification, how to connect with people when you don't really speak the same language, how to make a lesson plan. All of that stuff was really, really useful. Otherwise, I would have just spent all my time on Google trying to figure out how to do it from ESL websites. But instead, I had professionals helping me and demonstrating what to do, what not to do. It was great. Copiapó is in the Atacama region, though not necessarily in the Atacama Desert. But think dry, dusty, brown. It is a mining town. Everybody there depends on the mine for their livelihood. What's also important is those 33 miners that got stuck a few years ago and made international news, that was in the region of Copiapó. The best part of my experience was my host family. My best friend in Copiapó was actually my mom. She's an English teacher, and I don't know. I have nothing but really good things to say about her. It's like one of the most gratifying relationships I've had in my life, and we got to live together and be friends. It was like 3-month-long sleepover. I loved my home life. I did have little brothers. They did not talk to me. They're super shy. They were super, super shy, but towards the end, they would say, Kati, like, tengo sed, like, I'll help them pour their glass, like a glass of juice. But yeah, I mean, it was really easy for me to blend in with the family. We all played and ate together, and I taught Marco a little English, but it was the biggest and best part was the great surprise that my host mother was for me. Like, we're gonna be friends for a very long time. Well, I've only known the one place, and I don't feel comfortable commenting on Chile as a whole, but especially with my community and at my school, I have been so overwhelmed by the kindness that people have shown me. Especially my last 2 weeks, they were absolutely beautiful. Everybody chipped in to give me gifts, to make me feel welcome. I don't know, don't make me cry. Don't make me cry. But especially towards the end, it was really incredible. I had this goodbye dinner on a Tuesday night at 11 p.m. on a work day, and a bunch of people showed up, and one of my fellow English teachers, or one of the fellow teachers sat down, and she just took this ring off of her finger and put it on my hand. And there are so many little tokens of stuff like that just kind of blow you away at the kind of kindness and generosity and people's willingness to have the patience to talk to me, because it takes me a while to spit out a sentence in Spanish, and their patience and their open-mindedness to want to get to know somebody when they had nothing to benefit from it. But in the end, I don't know, it was really difficult to leave because these people took so much time to get to know me, and I don't know, it was really lovely. The kindness of these people, I don't know about if it's Chileans as a whole, but definitely at my school and the people that I managed to meet, I don't know, I was really blessed. Well, look, I don't have experience in education. I work in medicine, but all my life I've always wanted to dedicate myself to things that matter. Because at the end of the day, we all have an expiration date, and I want to know that I dedicated myself to things that matter. And this work is important, and it's hard, and it is rewarding, and it is a great chance to grow, both for the students and for me. The public schools, normal Chilean behavior in the public school system is not normal for us. So even a normal day for the kids in the classroom is a great opportunity for you to kind of buck up, have patience, and be strong in ways that you really weren't before. On the other hand, my kids did not speak a lick of English when I showed up. What is your name? How old are you? No. But then my classroom turned into this great opportunity to kind of be vulnerable, and we were both vulnerable because my Spanish isn't incredible, and we were really able to bond. Sometimes some of my best conversations were with my students because they understand how difficult it is to learn a new language. There's a big disparity between the public schools and the private schools, and I get why they put us there. And I think it's really important work. There are all kinds of little wonderful moments, like kids hiding notes around my room that say te amo mucho, or right when I left, they held up this sign that said te quiero with a Kiero. I thought that was so cute. A bunch of my kids wrote me notes, and one of them, my older one in 8th grade, she said in Spanish, it's incredible that you can feel this amount of love for someone when you don't really speak the same language. And now I want to go abroad, and I want to practice medicine, and I want to have a life kind of like the life that you have. We all have an expiration date, and I want to do some things that matter, and I don't know. I thought that for sure I would make a difference, but maybe I would leave and never know it. But I kind of won the lottery with the school I was at in terms of my colleagues and my students. And the day-to-day appreciation isn't really there, but when I left, they all made a big show of their affection, and that was really awesome. I'm never gonna forget that. When I work in medicine, and especially as in EMT, people wait for me to arrive, and the room gets quiet and they all listen to what I say, and tell me thank you and I'm so glad you're here. Not the case when you're teaching. And so it really exercised a different part of me. And it's been really humbling. You kind of got to get rid of a lot of ego to be constantly corrected or criticized or kind of bullied from your students. And that's really good. And I always knew that I just wanted to do important work, be kind, have courage, and see the world. And this has been a really good recalibration. And I think I'm coming out stronger, more humble, and I don't know, maybe a little softer or something. I'm not sure. My favorite part of this experience was falling in love. And it's not kind of in the way that you thought, but the best mother I've ever had is the mother I got randomly placed with in the middle of a devastated mining town in the north of Chile in the Atacama Desert. It just seemed so random and fateful that I was able to find a kindred spirit. And you really never know where those things are going to happen. And I just feel so incredibly cared for and loved, and to be able to engage in that kind of reciprocity. You know, we exchanged languages and cultures and stories and thoughts and feelings, and my host mother is by far the greatest soul in the world. So you'd be really surprised by how far a little kindness and bravery will take you. You need to accept a lot of favors when you're living a world apart. And that also makes me more willing to give favors. Now I share things more. I don't know. I am not going back to the United States until I can speak Spanish. So now that I've done my due diligence, I plan on living here in Chile. I'm currently looking for a job and a place to live and roof and food, so if you know anyone. This is a package, and that's really good. Having the support, having everybody on your side, not just back in Santiago, because you're not going to be in Santiago, but the people in Chile, they don't speak English very well and they want your help. And especially in my experience with my team, all of my colleagues were on my side too. Because when you go into the classroom, sometimes it's a bit like going into the battlefield, and you have a lot of people on your side. If you're on the fence about this, think hard about it. Be dedicated in your decision, but be flexible, have courage, and you're not going to regret living in another country. When you're young or when you're old, you're always going to get benefits from it, whatever it may be. For me, it was this. For my neighbor, it was something else. But it's an adventure.